This episode of Against the Odds is brought to you by Card Kingdom. To pick up the deck and support the show, follow the link in the description box down below. Alright, Against the Odds time. Playing some Torment of Hailfire in Standard. We have mana, which is a necessary part of casting Torment of Hailfire. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Well, Grasp of Darkness is probably good against a white deck. Plains for our opponent. And passes. Well, we have all the Hedron archives. If we ever draw Torment, it is going to be huge. Prairie Stream. Plays Bygone Bishop. Well, Grasp, Bygone Bishop. Well, Bantu's Last Reckoning could be good in this matchup. Play Hedron Archive, pass the turn. Opponent, Thraben Inspector, gets a clue, and passes. Well, play Deadlands, play Hedron Archive, pass the turn. Opponent cracks their clue, plays a land. Didn't want to play the second archive, because if they have a counter, it's probably Metallic Rebuke. Gets in, hits us, down to 19. And passes. Ooh, there's Oblivion Sower. Oh, play a Swamp. Yeah, I think we just Oblivion Sower. See if we get some lands, hopefully. If this is the blue-white monument deck, they have a lot of lands. Ooh, alright, 2 lands, not bad. We'll take it, including a Westville Abbey. And I think we just pass. Opponent runs out of Spell Queller. Okay. Follow-up is Dusk to get rid of our Oblivion Sower. Sure. Opponent gets in. Well, let's sack a Hedron Archive. We need some action here. More ramp. Alright, down to 16. Another Westville Abbey. Play Hedron Archive. Play Cultivator's Caravan. Play Westville Abbey. Pass the turn. Man, we could Torment for so much if we drew one. Opponent gets in. Yep. Hits us down to 13. Hanweir Militia Captain. And there's a Selfless Spirit, which is actually kind of annoying. Well, sack Hedron Archive. Gifted Aetherborn, a Fatal Push Selfless Spirit. Opponent sacks. Play Gifted Aetherborn. Play a Swamp. And I think we just pass for now. Another land for our opponent. Gets in with Spell Queller. Yep. Hits us down to 11. There's a Cloud Blazer. Well, I think we're going to have to Wrath this turn. So let's get in with Gifted Aetherborn. Opponent takes it. Transgress our opponent. Metallic Rebuke, Dusk Dawn, Bygone Bishop. Well, I guess we just take Dusk Dawn, Bantu's Last Reckoning, to clear the board. Problem is our opponent has another Dusk Dawn, so they can get all that stuff back. Play the Swamp, pass the turn. Bygone Bishop for our opponent. Plays a, oh dear, plays a land. Jeez, Selfless Spirit for our opponent. Well, let's see if we draw anything. Ooh, that's actually huge. So let's never the Bygone Bishop. Opponent sacks. Yup. But now we get to get this Dusk Dawn out of the graveyard, so our opponent can't just redraw everything. That was actually probably the best thing we could have drawn there. Pass the turn. Opponent still has clue generation going. Opponent gets in. 4-2. Down to 11. Sacks the clue. Alright, well, let's sack our Hedron Archive. There's a Torment, but we can't really cast it very well. Alright, I think we first attack with our zombie, hit our opponent, play a land, play Cultivator's Caravan. Opponent has Spell Queller, gets a clue, and then I guess we just pass. We know they have that counter in hand. Cycles Irrigated Farmland, counter, 2 unknowns, draws a card. Opponent gets in with both. Yep. Down to 7. Plays Port Town, untapped. Oh, make a 1/1. Well, I think the time has come. The time has come. The time has come. We gotta go for it. So we gotta cast it with 3 mana up because of Metallic Rebuke. So Torment X8. Playing around the Metallic Rebuke. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? We got another one for next turn, which our opponent does not know about. Is this gonna work? Discards the counter. Discards a land. Discards a land. Empty-handed. Still has 5 more Torment triggers to pay for. They have to sack at least 1 creature, or they die to our creatures. If they go to 3, they're dead. They can go to 6. So they gotta sack 1 creature. Oh man, and we sack 3 Hedron Archives too. Imagine if we had the Hedron Archive mana as well, or didn't have to play around the counter. Alright, sacks the Spell Queller. Oh, can we win here with a second Torment? So we get this back. We Torment X2. Wow, it's going to work. We got the counter out of their hand. I think this works. They sack this, drop to 3 die. Yeah. Torment X2. 2 torments in the same turn. First one gets the counter out of the hand. Second one kills our opponent. Oh, yes. Oh, we could not have drawn it up better. So we got a bit lucky to draw our Never to Return at the right time. But oh my goodness, we did it. We did it. Oh, we don't have much graveyard hate, unfortunately. So against this deck, I think we go down the Lay Bare the Hearts for Transgress the Minds. We can go up Kalidas. Probably want Liliana's. Bantu's Last Reckoning seems pretty good. And maybe Grasp of Darkness. Man, it's a lot of cards. Go down. I think we got to go down the Cruel Realities in this matchup. And then go down maybe just Gifted Etherborns. They have so many flyers. A Thought Not Seer. A Thought Not Seer. Maybe we go 3 Transgress. Let's try it like that. Geez, we got the Torments. All right, we'll try this. It's not insane, but we get to kill 2 things. Hopefully find some mana. Yeah, there's some mana. All right, play the land, pass the turn. Opponent gets in with Thraben Inspector. Down to 19. Opponent passes. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Obnixilis could be good here if it just sits out. Opponent cycles their Clue. Gets in with the Thraben Inspector. Yep. Down to 18. There's a Bygone Bishop. Well, thankfully we get to just kill it. So kill Bygone Bishop. Untap. Jeez. Let's just Liliana. It would be nice to keep developing our mana, but Liliana seems pretty good here. It also deals with some of our opponent's stuff, like Selfless Spirits, Westville Abbey for our opponent, and casts out our Liliana. Yep, can't really do anything about that. Would be nice to get Top Nixilis. Ooh, there's a land. That's nice. So play Cultivator's Caravan, play a Swamp, pass the turn. Next turn we can potentially get down Obnixilis. See what our opponent has. I mean, if they don't draw untapped blue mana, then we definitely can. Gets in with Thraben Inspector. Yep. There's our blue mana for next turn. Well, let's Fatal Push Thraben Inspector. Play Westville Abbey. Play Obnixilis. Start drawing some cards. We're on a pretty stable board. So draw a card, lose a life. Another Cultivator's Caravan. Pass the turn. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Plays a Plains. Another Cast Out. That's actually pretty annoying. Casts out Obnixilis and passes. We draw a Swamp. X5 isn't game winning, but it's pretty good, and this is a pretty decent window. So Torment X5. Opponent does have Negate. Well, luckily they have like no cards left. Plays a land. Hopefully this isn't Cloud Blazer. It's Cloud Blazer. Okay, that's not good. Opponent passes. We draw a Fatal Push. Play Cultivator's Caravan. And I guess we just pass. Pass the turn. Cloud Blazer was the one card we didn't want to see. Gets in for 2 with Cloud Blazer. Down to 14. Oketra's Monument. Oh no! My goodness. Oh my god. Yeah, things are going south in a big hurry. So Oblivion Sower is not bad, but I don't know if it's enough to beat double Cloud Blazer. Double Cloud Blazer is just so bad for us. So much life gain, so much card draw. But every life they gain and every card they draw makes our Torment so much worse. And now they have creatures. And we're Militia Captain for our opponent. So they can flip around to Westville Abbey. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. So we Fatal Push Militia Captain. So if our opponent wants to Westville Abbey, they got to do it now. Or they just have another negate. Okay. Well, let's see what we draw. So we can fire off Torment X9, but I don't know if that wins. Alright, so first we attack with Oblivion Sower. See if our opponent blocks. They do. And, I mean, now we just fire it off full tilt. That's all we can do here. If our opponent has a counter, they definitely win. They might win anyway. Torment X9. See what happens. Whoo boy! Oh boy. Discards Oketra's Monument. They have to sack at least one creature, or they die. Sacks Oketra's Monument. Oh, I didn't think of that. Drops to 3. So yeah, now we actually do just lose. Because Militia Captain flips 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, make a token 10. Well, we'll let him kill us, but we're dead in several different ways. Torment! You can see the problems with Torment. We just cast it for literally all the mana. I mean, that's about as big as it gets, X9. And resolved it, and lost. So, alright, let's run it back. We get to play first. I guess we keep this. 2 lands is a bit sketchy, but we have Wrath, we have Ramp, we have Transgress. Well, play our dead lands, pass the turn. We are going to want another land or two. Port Town for our opponent. Tapped. Not a land. Well, let's Transgress. Bygone Bishop, Angel of Sanctions. Well, we'll take Bygone Bishop. Pass the turn. Hope we draw a land next turn. Port Town, untapped. And Selfless Spirit. Oh man, come on land. Land for Liliana, please. Oh dear. Oh dear. And this might be how we lose. Opponent gets in with Selfless Spirit. If we draw a land this turn, we still have a chance. There's a Plains. There's Bygone Bishop. And now our chance, I think, is probably gone. Oh, this is a sad way for this match to go. Opponent gets in with Selfless Spirit and Bygone Bishop. Hits us down to 13. Come on, deck. We will start discarding to hand size. I guess never to return. Oh man, this could have worked too. The problem now is our opponent could easily have drawn a counter. Down to 9. Plays a land. Drew a Cloud Blazer. That's pretty good. Well, I guess this one just wasn't meant to be. Now we're out of outs. We can't kill Selfless Spirit and Bantu's Last Reckoning, so it's just game. Oh, wow. Whoa. Oh, I don't know if I've ever been so sad at losing. Oh, this hand has a lot of the tools that we wanted. If we had drawn just one more land. Well, it definitely wasn't meant to be, so yeah, I mean, yeah, it does it. Alright, against the odds time, playing some Torment of Hailfire in Standard. Okay. I mean, we gotta let a ramp if we draw just one more land. So we'll keep it. Blooming Marsh for our opponent. And Greenbelt Rampager. Yup, that's fine. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Well, a land is nice here. What do you got, opponent? Another Blooming Marsh. And Long Tusk Cub. Well, we just gotta kill that before it gets out of control. So, Long Tusk Cub, down. Opponent passes. More Thought Knots. Well, play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent. There's a Ronas. That is annoying. Grasp doesn't quite do it. Play Cultivator's Caravan. Pass the turn. See what our opponent has. Ether Hub. Get some energy. And there's Rampager again. Dicking around this time. Opponent. Okay, sure. Pumps Rampager so Ronas can attack. Gets in with Ronas for 5. We draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp. Play another Cultivator's Caravan. Pass the turn. Hopefully fizzle this attack with Grasp. Scrap Heap Scrounger. Okay, that's fine. Now our opponent's going to pump Rampager. Yup. So now we Grasp Rampager. So we take 0. Opponent passes. So play Hedron Archive. And play Thought Knot Seer. See what our opponent's got in hand. Just a land now that Rampager's gone. Alright, pass the turn. Now we have to not lose to what's on board is the bigger challenge. There's the Forest. Opponent pumps. And pumps. Alright, well, we're going to have to block this Scrounger, unfortunately. So kill Scrounger. Opponent draws a card. Oh, that feels so bad. We drop to 7. Come on, Torment pretty soon here. Oh, man. So I think what we do is play Thought Knot Seer, get a peek at our opponent's hand, Hazaret and Attune. So we take Hazaret, follow that up with Gifted Etherborn, pass the turn, and hope that we can win next turn with Torment. Gets back Scrap Heap, attunes, gets a land, plays a land, pumps Scrap Heap. Alright, they get to get in with Ronas. So we will take 5, down to 2. Opponent passes, never to return. Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 triggers. That's 18. It's 15 damage if they discard, which they will. If they discard sack Scrap Heap, that's 12, and we don't win. Yeah, so I think we wait one more turn. I think what we do is Cast never on Scrapheap Scrounger. Exile Scrapheap Scrounger. Get in with Thought Knot Seer. Pass the turn. Now, next turn, Torment should be lethal. Okay. Disintegrates Thought Knot. Draws a card. Does not have an artifact, so we're not dead. Opponent passes. Well, we're firing it off for all we got. This is what we got. Let's see what happens. Full on Torment. X6. Down to 10. Down to 7. Is this enough? Even with the Thought Knot dying and our opponent drawing a card? Discards a Braid. Saxaronas! We discards our last card, the Scorpion God. Whoo! Alright, get in with Gifted Aetherborn. The one way we would lose here would be Hazaret off the top. So I think we gotta leave back the zombie for chumping. Voltaic Brawler. That's not gonna do it. That is not gonna do it. Opponent passes. So play Hedron Archive. Play Gifted Aetherborn. Crew Cultivator's Caravan. Get in with Caravan. Leaving back Gifted Aetherborn again. To not die to something off the top with haste. Opponent's got a chump. Pass the turn. Opponent has to find 4 damage here. Scrap Heap. That is definitely not going to do it. Opponent can't even block. Wow. And scoops it up. We got there. We got there. Green-black energy. Whoo. We got there. So sideboarding against this deck. We don't have good God answers. Let's go down, lay bare the heart for the rest of the Gifted Aetherborns. Go up another Bantu's Last Reckoning for a Transgress the Mind. Maybe we go up 2. Let's go up 2, go down the Transgresses. Let's run it like that. Okay. We're going to try this. We're on the draw. If we get 1 black source, we can at least Gifted Aetherborn. And we got the Torments and the Ramp for the long game. Blooming Marsh for our opponent. And passes. Okay, play a Swamp, pass the turn. With this Caravan, though, if we do draw land 3, things go really good really quick. Ether Hub for our opponent. And Voltaic Brawler. That's a clock. Come on, deck. Give us a land. Aye. Oblivion Sower, the anti-land. Play Wesfalabi, pass the turn. Oh dear. Well, maybe we should have mulliganed. Well, let's see what our opponent's follow-up is. Doomfall. Yep. That's not ideal. Opponent gets in. They do take our ramp. So now we need 2 lands to really start doing anything. Yeah, we take our beats. We do not draw land. Well, alright. Maybe we should have mulliganed. There's a Greenbelt Rampager. Oh boy. Yep. Not a land. Well, we'll stick it out, but this one's over. Hard to even construct ways that we can get back into this. So, well, Swamp, Gifted Aetherborn, opponent's hand, all blanks. Bantu's Last Reckoning. Opponent has Ether Hub. Opponent has Scrounger. Yeah, now we're out of outs. Gets in. Does not pay their energy. We drop to 7. Not a Swamp. Alright. Well, sometimes that happens. Yeah, let's run it back and hope that doesn't happen again. Okay. I mean, we got the Ramp hand. Swamp, go. Well, that's our opponent got. Leads on Ether Hub for a tune. Gets Forest. We'll play a Swamp. Grasp is a pretty reasonable draw. Now we have 2 removal spells. There's a Forest. And a Greenbelt Rampager. And opponent spends all their energy, which is actually pretty good for us. So let's Grasp, Greenbelt Rampager. Play Gyre Reach, pass the turn. There's Ronas, the Indomitable. Opponent passes. Play the Swamp and get down our Hedron Archive. And next turn, hopefully, it will be Sower time. Opponent finds an Ether Hub. So this does get them 1 source of black mana for a turn. Okay. Up to 2 sources. Bounces. Down to 0 sources. Our opponent's energy is what their biggest problem is here. And passes. Well, play the Swamp. And let's Oblivion Sower. Hopefully hit a black source for Gifted Aetherborn. Well, we got 2 black sources, but they're tapped. Alright, well, we still get an Oblivion Sower. Pass the turn. There's a Mountain for our opponent. And, alright, goes pumping. So they can get in with Ronas. Well, we're definitely blocking Rampager. If they got a trick, they got a trick. Alright. Well, that's fine. Man, Torment would be good here. Ooh, Thought Knot. Alright, we're going to take the slightly riskier line. We're going to Oblivion Sower. If we hit any untapped land, we can also Thought Knot. We hit a tap land. So no Thought Knot, which means we just gifted Etherborn. Pass the turn. Oh man, if we can find a Torment. Opponent has a Swamp. Alright, their mana is somewhat online. There's Hazoret. And Transgress the Mind. Well, now I think we just have to draw... Well, we get to block Hazoret. I think we just have to draw Torment. We lose our Thought Knot Seer. Oh, well, that's a good backup draw. Cruel Reality, targeting our opponent. That is huge. Super, super huge. Wow, Cruel Reality coming through. Get in with Gifted Etherborn to gain back a bit of life. So Cruel Reality has some tricky text. Says that player sacrifices a creature, so they have to sacrifice. There's no option to take 5. So they sacrifice their... We have a God answer. It's Cruel Reality. Oh, what are the chances? Bone it. Tap it, untap it. There's a Brawler. Turns on Hazoret. Yeah. Gets back some energy. Disintegration. Yeah, sure. I mean, we take a beating here, but that's fine. I mean, I guess we take our free loot. Can't imagine we discard Never to Return, though. Alright, we do. Since we drew another one. And a Swamp. Kill Voltaic Brawler. Loot with Gaia Reach. Discard a Swamp. Opponent draws and discards. We play another Hedron Archive. Pass the turn. Oh, Cruel Reality. Oh, I did not think we had any way of beating the gods, but apparently we do. And apparently it's Cruel Reality. Oh, we've eaten 2 gods. And now our opponent's just, like, locked. They're essentially just locked under Cruel Reality. I don't know how they ever get multiple creatures on the battlefield. And we get to loot for free every turn, since our opponent's empty-handed. We'll discard Bantu's Last Reckoning. Let's sack a Hedron Archive. There's a Torment. Play another Gifted Etherborn. Play a Swamp. Return, getting rid of... it doesn't matter. A god, I guess. Pass the turn. Cruel Reality. Gonna keep eating. Oh, well, I'm glad that Cruel Reality is finally good one game. And it's been insane in this game. They had double gods. Oh, and we got the Torment. Don't scoop. Let us Torment. You want to see it. Oh, well, we had a sweet Cruel Reality game. We'll take it. We did get the Torment kill, but Cruel Reality was super awesome. All right, against the odds time, playing some Torment of Hailfire in Standard. And, yeah, all right. This hand is okay-ish. I wish we had more early game stuff, but Cultivator, hopefully into Oblivion Sower, into Cruel Reality, could work. So, Swamp, go. Plains for our opponent, and Thraben Inspector. Opponent passes. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Could use some early plays. Opponent inspects us for 1. And another Plains. And Glorybound Initiate. Oh no, is this... well, play Ifnir Dreadlands, play Cultivator's Caravan. If this is Horse White, we might be in trouble here before sideboarding, especially since we've drawn 0 removal spells. Alright, no always watching. Opponent gets in for 4. Oblivion Sower can help slow things down. Seagate Wreckage. Well, play Sanitarium. Do we just main phase loot? Alright, I guess we do. Let's loot. Discard a Swamp. Giving our opponent a loot is not ideal. Pass the turn. Well, we'll see. We'll see if this could possibly be fast enough. Opponent has a Plains. Getting up close to horse territory. Cruel Reality is going to be a bit slow. Opponent gets in. 4/4. Yep. Down to 11. Double Cruel Reality. Maybe that'll be good enough. If we're still living. That is spicy. Oblivion Sower. Hopefully we get some lands. We get 1 land. This is definitely Horse White. Alright, we get 1 land. Oh no. There's Stasis Snare. So if they can follow this up with a horse, we're pretty much just dead. Opponent gets in. 4/4. We take it. Down to 7. Aether Sphere Harvester. Gets some energy. So I think we have to lay bare the heart. Good God. Take Crested Sunmare. Play Seagate Wreckage. I don't think there's any coming back from this. Maybe if we draw Wrath. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. We'll just loot on our end step. They could have just killed us. Ifnir Dreadland, sorcery only. There's a land. Well, let's loot. Another Oblivion Sower. Well, we gotta discard Cruel Reality. Opponent discards a land. We draw land. And I think we're out of outs. So play Oblivion Sower. Yeah, I mean, we're just dead. We get 0 lands. God, Oblivion Sower. You are the worst. And yeah, we'll just scoop it up. Gifted Aetherborn can come in. Bantu's Last Reckoning can come in. And probably another Fatal Push. Go down. Transgress. Go down. Never to Returns. Yeah, let's go 3 Reckonings. Let's try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. And, well, we got a Bantu's Last Reckoning. Alright, play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent plains Thraben Inspector. Gets a clue. And passes. We gonna keep drawing swamps. Well, pass the turn. Maybe we should have just mulliganed. We're leaning super hard on this Bantu's Last Reckoning. Opponent plays a tapped land. Gets in with Thraben Inspector. Another Thraben Inspector. Alright. Come on, deck. Well, we might as well cast Lay Bare the Heart. Lone Rider, always watching Aethersphere Harvester. I think we take Aethersphere Harvester because technically, if we can keep creatures off the board, always watching shouldn't beat us. Opponent draws a land, so here comes always watching. That does speed up the clock. So we have Lone Rider and what? Alright. Opponent hits us. Man, colorless land would be so sweet. Oblivion Sower. Now let's pass the turn. Opponent gets in with the dorks, down to 11. Another land. Aerial Responder. Play the Swamp, pass the turn. I think our opponent's going to play Lone Rider, because they get to flip it with Aerial Responder, so it seems like it's going to be hard to pass up. So we take our beats. Next turn, we Wrath plus Gifted Aetherborn, then skip our following turn. Opponent gets in, hits us to 4. There's a Lone Rider. Flips the Lone Rider. Alright, well, I mean, we sort of got a chance. Oh, there's our colorless mana, too. So Bantu's Last Reckoning, sweep the board. Play Gifted Aetherborn. Opponent corrects their clue. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Oh, man. So we got to skip our next turn. We got to hope our opponent doesn't draw anything, especially a flying thing. Thraben Inspector. Okay, that doesn't just beat us. Gets a clue. And Glorybound Initiate. Now we're dead to removal spell. Play Gaia Reach Sanitarium, pass the turn. Hope that we live. Sags a clue. Goes to combat. Attacks. Attacks. Well, let's trade with Glorybound Initiate. Opponent cracks their clue. And passes. Well, play Hedron Archive. Play Thought Not Seer. Alright, opponent's only got lands left. We get rid of the Aerial Responder. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land. And passes. We draw a land. We'll play the Swamp. Let's Oblivion Sower. Do we get any lands? Oh my goodness, Oblivion Sower. Oh, Oblivion Sower. Get in with Thought Not Seer. That's a third Oblivion Sower this match, and we've hit 1 land. Opponent has Glorybound Initiate. Thankfully doesn't get through our Oblivion Sower. And passes. Alright, now we loot. Because now we can draw with Seagate Wreckage if we get empty-handed. Discard Bantu's Last Reckoning. Play Seagate Wreckage. Pass the turn. Lone Rider. Okay. Passes. Alright, well, let's loot with Gaia Reach. Ah, more land, more swamps. Discard the Swamp. Play the Swamp. Play Gifted Aetherborn. Pass the turn. Well, now we get to start drawing with Seagate Wreckage. And we're not dead to just 1 removal spell. Another Always Watching. Also not dead to Always Watching. Opponent. Oh, come on. Torment of Hailfire 1 time. Draw a card. Oh, that's a Torment. And a Torment. All right, well, I mean, we got to go for it. We got to go for it. I don't know if this wins us the game, but it's going to be sweet. Torment X10. Yes, please. Let's see how good or bad this is. Thankfully, our opponent does not have many cards in hand, so I can't do too much discarding. Opponent just goes to -3. Okay. Alright. Well, I think our opponent could have somewhat... Well, could they have avoided that? They had 1 card in hand, I believe. So they discard 1, take 27. They sack... The problem is if they sack creatures, then we get to attack with creatures. That might have just been lethal, actually. Huh. Well, Torment of Hailfire. Maybe it's better than we thought. Let's bring in another Grasp of Darkness. Go down Obnixilis, I think. Let's go up to Fatal Push. Just bring in all the early game removal. Try it like that. Alright. No Torment, but discard into Ramp, hopefully into Oblivion Sower. Plains for our opponent. And Thraben Inspector. Passes. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent. Ooh, more Thraben Inspectors, but not more lands. Gets in with Thraben Inspector. Down to 19. Ooh, more Ramp. We'll play the Swamp. Let's just lay bare the Heart. Get rid of a horse or something. Ooh, that's an aggressive hand. We will take Always Watching. Does our opponent find land number 2? Looks like no. Gets in with the Inspectors. Third Inspector. Oh, they did draw a land, but it's a tap land. Alright, Thraben Inspector. Part 3. Well, play a Swamp. Play Cultivator's Caravan. Opponent's getting in. Wow. Are they worried about our... Interesting. I guess they're just going to pass and sack a clue? Well, we got a lot of ramp, so play Hedron Archive, play Westvale Abbey, play Cultivator's Caravan. Man, if we can find a Torment, it might just be game-winning. Opponent sacks a clue. Opponent, this time, they have no fear. Gets in for 3. Down to 14. There's Glorybound Initiate. Fatal Push. Yeah, let's Oblivion Sower. Opponent should have a million lands in their deck. Come on, be good for once, Oblivion Sower. Oblivion! Opponents only drawn 2 lands. They have so many in their deck. Oh man. So we're up, this match we're up to 1. We're up to a brutal 1 for 16 with Oblivion Sower. Sacks a clue. And passes. Maybe we have to sack our Hedron Archive here. Well, play Ifnir Deadlands. Pass the turn. The Fatal Pushes can help keep us alive at least. Sacks the clue. Apparently opponent just has no lands in the top of their deck. There's a land finally. And Inspector, part 4. Might as well start making 1/1s, I guess. Play the Swamp, pass the turn. Aethersphere, Harvester. That's actually kind of annoying. We can't block that easily. Well, make a 1/1. Play a Swamp, Thought-Knot Seer. Oh my goodness. Let's take a Crested Sunbear. So, opponent gets in with Harvester. We'll take it. Down to 9. There's a Lone Rider. Make a 1/1. Oh, there's Torment too. Oh, goodness. Oh, so many options. Maybe we can do this without Bantu's Last Reckoning. Opponent sacks their clue. Oh, coast is clear. Okay. Plays a land. Glorybound Initiate. Opponent passes. Crew Cultivator's Caravan. Transform Westvale Abbey. Do we just have to Wrath is the question. Alright, I guess we sack Thought-Knot. I was trying to avoid that. Well, alright, so that crew did nothing. Opponent gets to draw. We get a Westvale Abbey. So let's attack with Ormondal. Opponent takes it. Now we Bantu's Last Reckoning. And Thought-Knot Seer? Get rid of a removal spell, hopefully. Let's just take, I guess, a Sunmare. Pass the turn. And then in 2 turns, we get huge Torment of Hailfire. Opponent draws a land, so they can play the horse and crew. There's the Crested Sunmare. Crew's up Aethersphere. Gives it lifelink. Yep. So here comes the indestructible horses. Yep. Drop to 14. Opponent goes to 14. Gets a horse. Ooh, we draw a Grasp. Well, I guess we got to get in. Pass the turn. And next turn, it's Torment time. Torment X7? Will that be enough? Crew's up Aethersphere Harvester. Gives it lifelink. I think we grasp it even though it doesn't die. So our opponent doesn't gain life and get a horse. Because it makes our Torment better. So no life gain. I don't know what our opponent's doing. Oh dear. Oh dear, opponent. Don't scoop. Oh! Well, we got one good Torment, and we would add another one if our opponent stayed in the game one more turn. Sweet. Against the odds time. Looking to rain down some Hailfire and Brimstone, I think, is what rains with Hailfire in Standard. And we're going to mulligan. We'll keep this. I mean, we actually have a lot of good ramp. We don't really have a payoff. Swamp to the bottom. We don't want to really flood out here. Ooh, and a Thought-Knot. Not a bad draw. Swamp Goo. Opponent has an island. Uh-oh. Probably going to be mono counter dot deck. Grixis control. Opponent passes. Well, play a swamp. Play Cultivator's Caravan. Jeez, we haven't drawn a land. Maybe we should have kept land for. Alright, Caravan Resolves. Ooh, opponent passing. We get a swamp. So, play Hedron Archive. Now our opponent's going to spend their counter. Alright, no Hedron Archive for us. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. Let's play Cultivator's Caravan. Pass the turn. So next turn we get to Oblivion Sower, which is pretty helpful. Because even if our opponent counters it, we're going to get a bunch of lands. And then we'll be getting close to the point where we just gotta... Wow, opponent cycles and misses. Whew. Discards a Harness. Oh, another Oblivion Sower. Alright, this is looking sweet. So, Oblivion Sower. We know our opponent has 1,000,000 lands in their deck. Hopefully we hit like 3 here. Oh, come on, Oblivion Sower. Alright, they counter Oblivion Sower. We still get the trigger. Ooh, yes! Yes, yes, yes. We will take them all. That was pretty good. And we got rid of a Torrential Gearhulk. So, pass the turn. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close to a massive Torment of Hailfire. Opponent finds a tap land. Well, crack Evolving Wilds. Get a swamp. Well, let's Oblivion Sower again. Actually, we want to leave up colorless in case we thought not. So, Oblivion Sower. Yes! 3 more lands. And follow it up with a Thought Knot Seer. Oh man, this is going to be the greatest torment of all. Oh no! Our opponent scoops it up. Oh, the mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could have Thought Knotted to make sure our opponent didn't have a counter, and then Torment X10, which would have probably mind twisted our opponent and put them to a potentially dead life total. Whew! Wow. Wowee, that was close. So against this control deck, I think we want Liliana's, Obnixilus's, Transgress the Minds, Lay Bare the Heart, possibly a Never to Return. Go down Fatal Push, go down Grasp of Darkness. What's our last cut? I guess Gifted Aetherborn is not very good. Let's try it like that. Oh, that was so close to being the biggest Torment of Hailfire of all time. Yeah, we're gonna mulligan. Oh dear, deck. We're gonna mulligan. Alright, we're gonna keep this. Our opponent also is mulliganing. We'll try it. I mean, we get a scry. We're at 5, our opponent's at 4. We tormented him right out of the game. Well, actually, Moto did. But in all fairness, we mulliganed a lot there, too. Alright, against the odds time, playing some Torment of Hailfire and mulliganing into Oblivion. Alright, I guess we can keep this. And we'll keep a land. So, swamp and go. See what our opponent's up to. Evolving Wilds, cracks it. Grabs a forest. So this could be energy, delirium, whatever. Play a swamp, pass the turn. Island for our opponent. And Druid of the Cowl. Well, that must die. Alright, I mean, Gifted Aetherborn is something we can cast, so we'll take it. Pass the turn. Another forest for our opponent. And Eldrazi Sky Spawner. There's a Torment, but it's a long way away from being good. I think we attack, and if our opponent double blocks, that's fine. Pass the turn. Not going to Torment X2. Does not feel worth it. I think we need to get to Oblivion Sower before Torment. Opponent gets in for 3. Down to 19. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh, please no. Uvenwald High. Oh my god. No! If we tried that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh dear. Well, there's a land, so we get to kill Uvenwald Hydra, play a swamp, get in with Gifted Aetherborn. Opponent gets in with Sky Spawner. So, 1 land away from Oblivion Sower, which is nice. Another land. Opponent's almost to Ulamog. And I don't think we can beat an Ulamog. Unbridled Growth, just to get the free trigger. Cracks it. Follows up with Nissa, Steward of Elements. Oh man, and now they get to scry to set up this aid from the cowl. Oh dear. At least they scried both to the bottom. Unbridled Growth. Alright, I guess that gives them another trigger for next turn. Come on, deck. Come on. We need a land here. Alright, it's a land. Well, that's good. So we get to play Oblivion Sower, hopefully steal some lands. Ooh, 2 lands. Get an Oblivion Sower. Attack Nissa. What else do we exile? Nissa and Ulamog. Well, there's 1 Ulamog down. Pass the turn. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Opponent sacks Unbridled Growth. Scries with Nissa. Bottom and bottom. Alright. Weaver of Currents. Sky Spawner. That's going to make our Torment much worse. Opponent gets in with the Flyer. Opponent gets Nissa. That's a non-bow. Ooh, Bantu's Last Reckoning. Well, I think plan A is attack Nissa. Attack Nissa. Actually, attack our opponent. Opponent blocks. Drops to 14. I mean, I guess we just got to go for it. So, Torment X6. I don't think this is going to win us the game, though. Actually, I think odds are in favor of us dying to Ulamog still. Opponent's empty-handed. Oh, okay. Drops to 5. Well, if we draw another Torment, Scries with Nissa, both to the bottom, Renegade Map, okay, gets in with Weaver. We draw Obnixilis. Well, we got to keep Nissa from going off, so kill Sky Spawner. Send everything at Nissa. Pass the turn. So Nissa can't ultimate now. That was one way we could have lost. So they got to find a creature or something. They do get an aid trigger. They do get Nissa. Forest. Scries 2. Bottom. Oh, top. No. No, their draw was Ulamog. Their draw was World Breaker. Hits our Deadlands. Flips an Ulamog. Well, play Hedron Archive. Oh, man. They finally did it the turn before they were going to die. Get a zombie. Pass the turn. Scries with Nissa. Bottoms both. Plays a land. Do they attack? They do with Ulamog. Well, a removal spell could do it. Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Well, let's start with sacking Hedron Archive. 2 lands. Play Obnixilis. Kill Weaver of Currents. And I think we just gotta pass the turn. Nissa Ultimate doesn't just kill us. Opponent cracks it. Ultimates. It's gonna be super close. We're gonna be at like 1 life with 3 cards in our deck. Opponent. Attacks. Hits us down to 1. Oh, alright. Gets a Lumbering Falls. What are our outs? Oblivion Sower. Play Gaia Reach. I guess we can live 1 more turn? Yeah, I mean, play Oblivion Sower. Maybe grab some lands. No lands. I guess we loot right now. Discard a land. Opponent draws, discards. Pass the turn. This is super it. We're going to be out of cards. Takes up Nissa, hoping. Hits a Weaver of Currents. Plays a land. Oh, man. Oh, we need a removal spell. Oh. Attacks with Ulamog. Exiles us down to 1 card. We got a block. Come on. Last card be a removal spell. Oh! Last card. Torment of Hailfire. Opponent's got no cards in hand. Oh my god! The very last card. Oh, Torment. Oh, the last card in the deck. Normally, we don't want our namesake card to be the last card in our deck. Oh, but it was... Oh my god, it was perfect. Oh, down to 1 card. Oh my goodness. Torment for the win. Oh my god. So what do we learn this week about Torment of Hailfire in Standard? So first off, we ended up losing that last match. We lost 2 in a row to our opponent flipping Ulamogs off of 8 of the Cowl. So overall, we played 5 matches. We kind of won 3 of them. That's including the Grixis control match, where our opponent had a little mana trouble. 50 to 60%, I guess, depending on whether you want to count that match or not. As far as games, we won 7 out of 13, which, again, is right around 50%. So, basically, we won about 50-50 with Torment of Hailfire. So, as far as the deck, let's start with Torment of Hailfire itself. So we got to see the good of Torment of Hailfire. We had some insane Torment of Hailfire kills. The game where we exiled out of 1 card and drew it off The top is our very last card in our library to win. The game where we cast 2 in 1 turn to kill our opponent. So we had some insane Torment of Hailfires that just won the game. We also got to see the bad of Torment of Hailfire, where against like white-blue Monument, we'd cast it for 9, 10, and our opponent would just discard a couple things, sack a couple tokens, lose a little life, kill us on the backswing. So we did a good job of trying to brute force our way through kind of the limitations of Torment of Hailfire, but there's certainly some sketchy matchups out there where against Blue-White Monument, I don't know how we consistently beat that deck at all. It's just so miserable when they can draw so many cards, make so many tokens. So I think Torment of Hailfire is super sweet, and it can be pretty effective, but it's a little disappointing that even in our deck, where we were consistently casting Torment X9, X10, after killing creatures, making our opponent discard, like doing everything you want to do to make Torment of Hailfire be as good as it possibly could be, and that wasn't always good enough. So it's cool, it's fun, it's unique, it can obviously steal some wins. We won about half the time with it, and it leads to amazing moments. So there's definitely upsides to Torment of Hailfire, but as far as being a legitimate finisher, I don't know how much more you could do to make Torment good than our deck is doing. I mean, really, if you look through our deck, almost every single card is doing something positive to interact with Torment. We were consistently casting it for a ton of mana, so if it wasn't extremely overpowered and busted in our deck, I think in a typical deck where you're not putting so much focus on it, it's going to be a little bit worse and be even less competitive. So I'm not really excited about Torment as a competitive card in Standard. It's obviously super sweet in Commander, no doubt about that, but I think it's a fun card. I think you can play it at an FNM level, probably win some games with it, but I'm not sure if you can actually win an FNM with it or something, because like I said, there's just a staggering lack of consistency. So it's fun, it's spicy, it's cool. I love playing this deck. It led to some awesome moments, but as far as winning tournaments, probably better to just cast a new Ulamog. Anyway, that's been Torment of Hailfire for Standard, our Against the Odds deck for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.